Hello everyone, hi, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back to another episode reaction to Bleach, 1000 Year Blood War. This is Haarute, my name is Matt, hello, what's up? So, last time on Bleach we got Kill the Shadow, which was a baller title. The title drop was great because that dude just got sliced in half and then it showed up. I am very happy that they're continuing the tradition of having really stylized titles, so that's good. An almost full episode of Soul Society captains fighting the Stern Ridders. And we got to see that they don't seal bankais, they steal them, which was my first assumption, but now we got a confirmation. And 4 of them were stolen. They stole Senbon Sakura Kageyoshi, they stole Daiguren Hyurin Maru, they stole Kokujo Tengen Myo, and they stole Yakuhurai Koban. I had to Google the name of the last 2 just to make sure because I did not remember them, but yes. So yeah, 4 of them are fucked now, but the rest now knows. On the other side of the plot where Ichigo's fighting Opie, or whatever his name was, they just kind of were done with that fight, and then they were like, hey, we gotta go to Soul Society, some shit's going down. And then Urahara started doing some analysis on the fight with Opie, and he was like, oh, so they have these 2 abilities. One of them is the angel form, where they grow wings, and they have the halo, and they have sword shit, and it increases the everything of them. But when they're not doing that, they can use this other ability, I think it was called Blood, passes ray acid through the veins, which just acts like nanomachines in Metal Gear Rising. They just get super armor and super regeneration, and that's why they cannot get hit by attacks. That's why nothing happens when you hit them. But they can do both at once, and also they can steal bankais, but seemingly the only person that's immune to them is Ichigo, and Urahara was about to say why, or tried to draw a guess as to why, and then he got interrupted because Opie wasn't dead, and he shot through Chad and Orihime and stabbed Urahara in the back, and he imprisoned Ichigo in the Garganta. And I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen with Ichigo now. I don't know what's gonna happen with all of them, actually. I'm like not worried about Ichigo because he's like the main character, so I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, he's being stalled. I'm worried about everyone else though. I hope Chad is okay. We have Orihime, they can grow okay, this is something I was thinking about, right? On the topic of the missing limbs, I was informed on YouTube that yes, in the original show, in fact, there were a lot more instances of missing limbs and shit, but in the original anime, they didn't show that. They just made the injuries be like, oh, this is a really bad injury, but nothing is really going on that you can visibly see how urgent it is. Which is something I kind of guessed or assumed, because I did say that, like, I remember violence in the original show was pretty tame considering the attacks that we're getting and what they're supposed to be doing, right? And I think I remember seeing manga panels and being like, oh wait, this is way different. So now that we're in 1000 Year Blood War and the limiters have been removed, I am starting to see people get fucked up, and in my mind I'm thinking like, oh, he's dead. But realistically there could be a recovery because people have survived probably worse. I just don't know about it because I saw a censored version essentially, but maybe that did happen. So who knows, maybe Izuru is alive. We'll see how that goes. But when it comes to Chad, Orihime is right there. Maybe she can help him. She can help herself. Something I was thinking about too in this past week is that we have the 2 Rancor bully girls. I don't know their names. They mention it, but I don't remember. The girls that served Aizen, and they were like the jailers to Orihime in the Wakamundo arc. Orihime helped them. We saved them, and Orihime was seen healing them. Maybe they can show up and try to fight Opie alongside Urahara. And I don't know, we can have fun here. It would also be great if Tier Haribo showed up and just kicked ass. I would love that, because everyone else just left, right? Like the king, his majesty, he's in Soul Society, so he might not be there anymore. I don't think they would just let Tier Haribo go, but that could happen, I don't know. And it would be awesome. I would love to see her kick ass. I don't know what's gonna go down in this side of the story. I'm worried about the other side of the story as well, what's happening in Soul Society. Everything's fucked. Let's go. Patreon, check out the link in the description below, pop up on screen. You can support me, support the channel, and watch the next 2 episode reactions already, as well as full-on reactions to Bleach 1000 Year Blood War. I would greatly appreciate it if you check that out. Let us begin. So, Bleach 1000 Year Blood War, episode 5. Let's go. I mean, but they don't know he's trapped. But everyone's like, hell yeah, Ichigo. Now y'all are getting destroyed. What? Are they mind controlling Jidambo? I remember Jidambo. Why is this trying everything? Oh my god. Again with this shit. Again with everyone dying and Ichigo can't do anything. Again with the failing to protect shit. Wrath as lightning. I'm very slow warming to this OP. It's taking its time. Who's that person at the end who's like slowly walking away? Oh, Kenpachi's about. Oh, is Kenpachi gonna fight the mage? Oh, I'm scared now. Ooh. What was that? Immediate guess. Ishin Kurosaki, Ichigo's dad. I don't know who else. Oh, finally spoken. Fear.
引き抜いたら何から何まで疑心暗鬼だがお前はそれを意志の力だけでよく耐えて
Yeah, because it's fucking Byakuya Kuchiki.
お前の心の芯はすでに僕への恐怖に取りつかれている私は戦いの中で恐怖を受け入れ力を手にしてきたのだ恐怖など
That's the source of the fear. I like this ability and mentality. Can he can use Sakura Kaiyoshi. Well, we're fucked. We're absolutely fucked. They can all use the bank as they stole. That's what stealing means. We're fucked. Oh shit. He's gonna die. Oof. Okay, she was fighting someone. Alright, lovely. Oh, he's still standing. So does he know how to use Summon Sakuraka? He's using his hands, so he knows. Do they immediately understand how to use it, or... No! Is that the Luchador man? I forgot he was there. I forgot he was around. Oh my god, he's gone. So he said you could have stolen it. Maybe they can only steal one. Well, I am very concerned about Byakuya. This is bad. Shit. Oof. Oof. Okay. Ah! Halfway through. Kenpachi. I like that he's gotten a couple of them. If he immediately goes for Majesty, I feel like there's no way he can win. Yeah. He just talked too much and he just fucking killed. Oh, that's what he does? I just hit harder and I won. I'm worried. I don't think he can beat Majesty. Ooh. We need to deploy Saraki to kill every single other Stern Ritter. I believe he can do it, but not Majesty. Oh, some of them are alive. Akon-san is still alive. The Overkill. Okay, that's a badass title. The last time I came, it was also 100. Okay. Oh, is he the one that killed? Ooh. Ooh! I believe he can destroy this guy. This one guy. What was his bankai? Kokogon Ryukyu. Summon lightning. Whoa. Oh, this is cool. This is really cool. Aww. I like seeing this.
私には英治祭殿を本名で呼ぶなどという大それた真似はできませぬ。右腕にしていただくために参っておるのでございます。
師範まで上り詰めれば自然と右腕にもなろう。
右腕とは英治祭殿の手の回らぬところを補ってこそ、一月前の仰せの通りに挽回を習得してまいりました。
このわしを倒してみせよ。
Oh, this is cool. I love seeing this. These are characters that never really got the spotlight. And we're finally seeing it in the form of flashbacks after their death. We get to see their relationship. This is amazing. Ooh.
その挽回はわしの額に消えぬ傷を大きく残した。
その通りです。この先生涯をかけ、この挽回が英治祭殿のお役に立つよう。
Man, this just makes his death way more tragic.
乾いた傷は十字に見え、いつしか皆はわしのことを十字祭と呼ぶようになった。
私のつけた傷ごときが英治祭殿の名を変えてよいわけがありません。
長次郎だけは、わしは長次郎のために自らに源流祭の名をつけた。
He changed himself.
部下の挽回に打たれて反撃する余力もねえか。長次郎よ、さぞ悔しかろう。わしにはようわかる。お主の磨き上げた挽回はその程度では断じてな。燃えよ、お主を弔うことができた。
Oh, that's incredible.
さらば
Goodbye.
奴ら賊軍一人残らず、わしがこの手で叩き切る。
Everyone just sees the sky burning in flames. I don't think he's ever been this pissed before. Yo, Rangiku, did you get a bankai yet? We kinda need one right now. Everyone gets a second win. The motivation. Let's go. Oh, that's why it's on fire. Because he sets everyone on fire. I mean, what concerns me about this final shot is that it's a bunch of Captain Garbs beneath Sangetsu. Oh, fuck. The fire. Oh, promise me with a good time. Okay, that was very good. That was just another 20 minutes of just, oh fuck, oh shit, oh man. Okay, for the first half, Byakuya might be dead. We're just gonna put that on the table. We haven't given him a proper send-off, but they use enough like storytelling devices in order to tell us that he might be dead. He's like passed out bleeding on a wall. The show was incredibly like removed from everything else. Like it was a very quiet, alone shot. You know, he was very small in a big screen. He cannot speak. He's thinking to himself like, I'm sorry I failed you. And his sword just breaks. We see Rukia and Renji being like, Byakuya, no. And then we see Ichigo being like, oh no, Byakuya, Rukia, Renji, I can't save you. And then we don't see much beyond that. So he could have just died just now. We'll see, I suppose. So the queen says they are not double tapping Byakuya, so maybe they can just feel that he's dead, and that sucks. We might have to say goodbye to Byakuya. I feel like if he's dead, then we'll get to see another scene later after this whole thing ends, where people get to properly announce his death and we get to properly grieve. So when that happens, I'll commit to grieving for Byakuya. But right now, I'm holding out hope that he might be okay, but he might not be. I'm just gonna say it. Okay, the remaining half of the episode was incredibly good. So, okay, I've said this before, and I said it on my... I made like a list, and almost like a tier list of characters that I thought were more likely to die during these assault. You know, I listed every captain, and I was like, okay, this one might die, this one might not. And I remember thinking to myself, Yamamoto Genryusai, he is probably gonna die. And the reason why I thought that is because I was like, okay, he's a force. He's not a character, right? Like he is a character, but we don't really know much about him personally. We have never seen a lot out of his like his history or relationships or his personality. He's more usually just a force, you know? He is the guy who calls the shots. He's the guy who everyone says like, oh fuck, he's the strongest, you know? Oh, you don't wanna get the old man pissed off at you, you know? That's the way everyone talks about him. So he feels like a force. He doesn't feel like a real character that you care about. He feels like, okay, if shit goes down, we got the old man. So I was thinking he's gonna fight. He has to. But I feel like for escalation purposes, he's gonna go. And also, it's not gonna be a character we're gonna miss a lot, right? So I'm thinking like, okay, he's premium material to that. And I still feel that way. I feel like he's gonna fight Majesty, which is what we see here being teased at the end of the episode. I'm glad I waited. I didn't know that there would be post credits, but I saw that the progress bar of the video, there was like 4 minutes remaining, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait it out. But I think that this arc isn't over, and it's not gonna be over for a bit. There's no way Majesty is gonna go down here to the captain. I feel like that Yamamoto's just gonna fucking eat it. I think it will be a really good fight, but I feel like he's gonna die. But what they did is that they actually made it good, because what I said previously was he's a force, he's not a character. Now he's a character, and I like that. They spend a couple of minutes, you know, it's not a lot, but it's good for this episode. We get to see for a couple of minutes a little bit of history with him and Lieutenant Sasakibe. We get to see, I think his name was Shohiro, his first name, and I like that he calls him by his first name too. And we got to see how when they were younger, this guy was like, I want to be your right-hand man. And he was like, oh, you fucking be one of my students. I'm like, what the fuck you want me to tell you? And he was like, no, I don't want to be your student. Because if I were your student, then I would just become another version of you. I would just learn your style, your techniques. I don't want to do that. What I want to do is I want to be my own person, and I want to be strong enough to stand on my own. And also, I would make up for your weaknesses, you know, like every fighter has strengths and weaknesses, and it's like, okay, I want to be my own person so we can fight together, right? And I can do what you cannot. That's very good, and it's good because it gives him like personality, you know. It retroactively makes Lieutenant Sasakibe a character that had a personality, had desires, had goals, and he was thinking like, and this is what he wanted. And like, he's not a person that we ever saw do anything and we gave a shit about. So it's great to see him as a young man being like, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm thinking. I think. And like he's proactive. He approaches him, and then he was like, go train your Bankai or whatever. And then he came back a month later and he was like, I got my Bankai. And then he was like, all right, let's fucking see it, bro. And they do, and it's weather control on some level. It seems to be lightning control, and that's fun because last week I remember I saw the haiku. Maybe it's not a haiku. It's just words. It's just a sentence, right? Because this episode only had 2, but it was about lightning, and I was like, who had a lightning-based power? I don't remember that. And then it's like, well, Sasakibe had. We never saw it, but he did have it. And that's what this was. We saw lightning come out from this guy, Overkill. I like that title, The Overkill. That's a baller title. It should have gone to someone else. But this guy shows up and he's like, I'm fucking strong. I'm the Overkill. And then the head captain shows up and he's like, oh man, I'm so lucky I'm gonna get to kill you. And I'm sitting here like, oh man, you don't stand a chance. You don't look like someone that would stand a chance. But they revealed that he's the one that killed Sasakibe. And it's like, okay, he was one of those people. He killed him. He stole his Bankai. And then he's like, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it on you, head captain. You're gonna get killed by your lieutenant's bankai, huh? I bet you haven't seen this in a while. And I love that we get to see this entire flashback sequence. And it's really the origin of his name as well. And this is what makes it all the more personal for Yamamoto. And I liked it before, like a couple episodes ago, after he died, after Sasakibe died, we got to see kind of a funeral and there was a fire and he's thinking about it. I remember he thought about him like standing over Sasakibe and Sasakibe like kneeling and being like, oh yes, I will be your lieutenant, you know. That was a nice tender moment. This was much better because we get to see a story, we get to see a relationship, and I like that it's so intimate that that's the origin of his name. The backstory for Sasakibe is so intertwined with his own name that this is very personal for him. And I love that he gets hit by Sasakibe's bankai and then he's like, Sasakibe, you would be so fucking pissed off because I know that your bankai isn't that fucking weak. And then he just fucking destroys this man. Overkill got overkilled. That's what happened. That was the best death in Bleach so far in terms of sheer brutality and how quick it was. We might get better kills. We might get better kills eventually, but because this is the first time we're finally seeing Bleach be so fucking raw with its violence, this is the first time we can see a guy's face melt off and his skull disintegrate. And he's like, I'm finally able to give you a proper send-off. And then he just stands over like a giant massive wall of fire. And then he just fucking starts flying, pissed off, in a meteor of fire. And the entire Seirete, every single Soul Reaper who's still kicking, is like, okay, let's fucking go. I have to say though, Kenpachi and Yamamoto, like, okay, Yamamoto fucking got shit serious and he annihilated that dude, and that was like the best part of the episode. But Kenpachi has a body count of 3. He already killed 3. And I feel like Kenpachi could kill more. I feel like we just need to deploy Kenpachi and Yamamoto just throughout the just across the Seirete, just go on a patrol. Each of them take one side of the dome and they just go in a circle and they just kill anyone they come across. And I feel like that's how we save the Seirete. I feel like that's how we do it. Because like, sure, I don't think they can take on the Majesty. And maybe, I don't know, maybe they could take on the blonde dude, maybe they don't, I don't know. The blonde dude just seems the more important out of the Stern Ritters. Him and like the creepy one almost maybe possibly killed Byakuya. They seem like the most heavy hitters, maybe. There's also the Omen with a gun. That one was a heavy hitter. There's also the cute anime girl who's fighting Komamura. She could be a heavy hitter. I just don't expect much from her because she's a cute anime girl. But I suppose that's the reason why I should expect something from her, because she's a cute anime girl and she's probably going to stick around. But yeah, like, I feel like anyone else, like, sure, they might have like 5 boss tier characters walking around and then the Majesty. Everyone else, every other Stern Ritter, I feel like they can just eat it, right? I feel like they could just get killed by Kenpachi and Yamamoto, and I kind of want them to do that. But both of them immediately went right for the Majesty. I don't think they can kill him. I mean, Majesty is clearly the final boss, so I feel like Majesty's gonna be fine. And that's a problem. At least it seems like Saraki might be fine. Kenpachi might not die. For a second I was worried. I was like, oh fuck, is he gonna kill him? But Yamamoto shows up and it seems like he's gonna save him. It seems like he's like, okay, fucking let's go. And Majesty's gonna be like, okay, I'm just gonna drop this dude over there. I don't give a shit about him. Let's fucking fight Yamamoto. He did call him by his name, by the way. Right at the very end, Yamamoto called him by his name. It's been 1,000 years, hasn't it? Wak. This is a name that has 6 letters and only one of them is a vowel. I have no idea how to pronounce this. Yuak. But yeah, I'm excited for this fight next episode that should happen. It might be a banger fight, but I'm unfortunately don't see the good guys winning here. There was also a visceral scene where Byakuya imagined Rukia dying. So okay, the way the power set for this Stern Ritter works is that he says that it works by fear. Like his ability, like that's why previous episodes when we saw all those people getting impaled, they were just like screaming, and a guy was like, I don't get why they're all screaming as they die, because they're getting impaled. But no, the bullshit anime reason is because they're being shown like something that makes them afraid, very afraid. I mean, they're dying, so I feel like they would be afraid anyway, but extra afraid, I suppose. But what happened here is that Byakuya is feeling afraid. The thing is that Byakuya is standing strong by his sheer willpower. And the thing is that he's able to keep calm during the battlefield. And that's why he's being told, like, you're afraid. And that's what I do. I make you feel fear. And Byakuya is like, I don't give a shit about that, because in the battle you always feel fear, right? I feel fear whenever I fight, but what I did is that I was able to conquer my fears, and that's how I get around this. I like that line of thinking, and that was cool, but then the twist is that, well, what makes them overcome the fear is, you know, like feeling like I have to protect someone, you know? Like the determination to keep going in order to protect the ones you love. And then you see Rukia, and then it's like, yeah, but what if Rukia died? And then he goes, oh fuck! And that's it. That's what did it. He just, for a second, he just saw Rukia dying viscerally, and then he felt a moment of pure fright, and that's what gave this guy the opening to just fucking stab him and maybe kill him. And there you go. And it's like, yeah, he the way he explains fear makes sense. It's an instinct, and beyond an instinct, it's something that, like, if you try to somehow overcome it by mental strength, it's like, yeah, okay, you can do that, but like everything comes from somewhere, man, and there will always be something that will make you afraid. There will be something, and as long as that one thing is found, then there you go. That's it. You're not immune to fear. No one is. And I love that Byakuya was thinking, like, I can overcome it, and then it's like, well, no. This guy's ability can probably do mental gymnastics and go one step over of what your limit is, and then you're fucked. I have to say, I'm kind of disappointed that he talked. I liked the previous episode because he didn't talk at all. It was creepier that way, but in this episode he did talk a lot, actually, and I was like, well, now I feel a little bit less hot about you. I like it when you were completely silent. On the Urahara side of things, this one guy, Opie, he's about to kill Chad and Orihime, and Urahara is not doing anything. He got stabbed in the back, but that's not the kind of injury that I expect anyone to stop anyone in the show. But he was stopped. He was like, no, don't do it. And then someone just fucking sliced this guy in half, and he's dead, I guess. Opie. And it's like, oh fuck, who was that? And then you see a sword show up next to Urahara, and he's like, Shimatta. I don't think that's an enemy. I feel like that's someone that's saving them, because it just did. It killed Opie, but I don't know who it is. My immediate guess was Ichigo's dad. That could be it, because we haven't seen him in a while. We don't know what the fuck he's doing. We know he's a Soul Reaper. We know he can be one if he wants to. We know he can show up, and he has captain level powers, and we just forget about that. We just don't mention it, but he does. He has Engetsu, and I'm thinking, like, he could just show up and just help out, because it's someone with a sword, right? And I'm thinking, who had a sword? It could be him. Another person that I thought for a second, but I don't remember she has a sword, is Nell. Nell could transform back into her hot waifu mode. Maybe she saved us. I don't remember what Nell does though, so that's something I'm not committing to. I don't think that was Tear Haribo, because I don't think she uses swords. She used a Sword of Swords on her, like, sealed form when she was in a Rancor, but I think now she's just in her release form, and she has, like, the shark arm, and that's the thing she does. I don't think she has a sword anymore. So I don't know who else it could be. My money is on Ishin, and I feel like he's gonna help us out. He's gonna show up and maybe help Ichigo or help Soul Society as a whole, and that's gonna be cool. I'm excited to see that. I just freeze frame on the shot of Kenpachi ripping a dude's throat off. I like how he tells it too. He was like, so the first guy was a chump. He attacked me as a giant monkey and I just sliced him in half. The second guy was really infuriating because he just kept talking, so I ripped his throat out. And then the third guy showed up, and that guy was good because he turned into me, and then I had to fight myself. So it was pretty strong. But then I just hit him harder and he died. I'm just sitting here like, oh my god, that's awesome. Kenpachi is such a raw, cool character. I was really thinking like, oh god, don't kill him. Like, he's good. I like him a lot. And then Genjusai shows up. Something I have to ask. I don't remember. I'm probably gonna know this by the time this video comes out on YouTube, because this is like 3 weeks behind. But did Genjusai lose his arm to this guy, to Overkill, or did he lose it before? I think he lost it against Aizen or something, right? He's always wearing this like incredibly, like, not baggy, but like overall that covers everything. So I never know how many arms does he have, because he's never using them, right? He's just kind of walking and sitting there, and he has his cane, and it's like, okay, I know he has one arm, but I don't know about the other. But in this one, you very clearly see that he only has one. And I'm not sure if he lost it against Aizen. I don't remember this. I feel like I remember it. So I feel like he lost it against Aizen, but I don't know for sure. I'm going to assume that he did. I'm going to assume that this guy Overkill didn't take one of his arms. I think it was Aizen. So every episode of 1,000-Year Blood War is fucking fire so far. Every episode feels like, oh fuck, who's gonna die today? Oh fuck, shit. And it sticks at incredibly high. Like, we had to wait a decade for this arc to be animated, and you know, it was worth it, right? Because this looks amazing, and it looks amazing because it's coming out in 2022, and now the standards are different, so people are just fucking exploding on camera, and it's incredible, and I love it. The visuals are great. The pacing is so much better than whatever the fuck we were doing 10 years ago. It's amazing. So it was worth it, but it also feels like this is the final form of Bleach, you know? Because I feel like we haven't had Bleach be this good since Soul Society, which is episode 63 was the final one. But this feels like it's grabbing what we built and finally using it. It's deploying everything that we have built before. Because the Wakamundo arc, it's like, okay, we got Hollows, and what if Hollows could be people? And then it's like, we fight them, and it's like, okay. And the battle for Karakura Town, which is the ending to the Rancor arc, is a lot better because we're finally seeing character dynamics come into play. We're finally seeing characters' backstory come into play, you know? Like, we get all these captains, we get the lieutenants, we know the relationships, you know, Komamura, Tozen, and Shuhei. We got that. We got how everyone is pissed off to Aizen for different reasons. You know, all the Bisons show up, and the Bisons are like, yo, we got some personal shit we gotta settle with this fucker. And all the Shinigamins are like, oh, they're still alive. Oh, fuck, okay. Oh, now we understand what happened. Okay, I guess we're allies now. And it's this very cool dynamic between all these characters, and it feels amazing. And that's what I really like about the battle for Karakura Town. Also, the battles were pretty intense. Like, I still remember how Soifun, first she lost an arm, and it turned into fucking skeleton, which was pretty raw for back in the day. And then she unleashed her Bankai, which she didn't want to use because it's not her style, and it's a fucking nuke. And then it's like, yeah, but I can't use the nuke because I'll blow up the city. And then Hachi, the visor, the big guy, he said, don't worry, I can create a giant box for you to shoot your nuke inside and explode this guy. And they do, and it's incredible. The Kyoraku fight against Coyote Stark, and when he's basically playing mini games in order to win, because that's how his sword works. I love that. And the giant team combo against Aizen, which doesn't work, and then Aizen does like the biggest villain bullshit move that I've ever seen in my life, which is incredible. I love that as well. But everything before that in the Rancor arc felt like nothing to me. The same kind of applies to Grimmjow and Ulquiorra. And I know those are fan favorite characters. I know people love Grimmjow and Ulquiorra. And like, you know, back in the day, I like Ulquiorra's design. I thought he was cool. I like Grimmjow when he released his form, and he was also cool. And he had a very clear personality, which was fun for a character. But creating conflict between Ichigo and them felt like there wasn't much there, you know? It felt like, oh, you're that guy. You came to Earth at one time and we crossed paths, and it's like, yeah. And that was kind of it. But when it comes to everyone in Soul Society and every Visor and Aizen, it felt like, oh, okay, there's weight to this relationship. There's weight to this fight. It's way more personal. This 1,000-Year Blood War feels like we're doing that, and it's fucked. It slaps, you know? Quincy's are coming back in, and we know that there is a story between Soul Reapers and Quincy's. We know there's a story between them. We know there was a war between them. We know they had to purge them. It would make sense if some of them are still kicking and they're fucking pissed. Beyond that, the Majesty seems to have a backstory with Yamamoto Genryusai, the head captain. So it's like, okay. And even Mayuri Kurotsuchi, he knows that there's a backstory between them. So they know something that we don't know, and they are acting as if they do. They're acting like, okay, all this shit went down back in the day. So it feels, okay, there's a lot more weight to this. And there's also a lot more weight because, you know, we're worried that they're all gonna fucking die. We're worried that all these captains and lieutenants that we give a shit about, that we've seen throughout the entire show, they're just gonna fucking die. And like, I sort of felt that way with Aizen, but then everyone was fine. And I'm sitting here like, okay, maybe not, because like the show just kind of kept going, right? I know that this is the final arc, and I remember because I was there, Gandalf. I saw it happen when this arc started coming out. I think I remember I read like one chapter. And I remember the reason why I decided to try that one chapter out was because I saw like headlines being like, the final arc of Bleach is coming out. And they specifically said final arc. Tite Kubo specifically says final arc. Like when the arc starts, it says final arc, 1,000-Year Blood War. And I'm like, okay, we're laying it down immediately. That is a promise. And because we know what we're operating with now, that means that people can start fucking dying. And in fact, I'm expecting it. So now that this is happening, shit is going down. The server is fucking exploding. Everyone's dying. I'm sitting here like, okay, this is real bad. And also the tone of the show helps. Because the tone of the original show in 2004 to 2011, it felt a lot more shonen anime. It felt a lot more, you know, teenagers and kids are watching this, you know, and we had heroes fighting bad guys. But the tone for this show, 1,000-Year Blood War, 10 years later, sorry, it feels a lot more different. It feels like, oh fuck, every episode. It feels like shit is going down, everything's fucked, everyone's dying, and it feels so much heavier. It's in so much more dramatic. It feels so much more hopeless than it did originally. I really have to give it to them. Tokyo, who's animating this? I forgot. Pierrot, Studio Pierrot. I have to give it to them because they're the same studio that animated it originally, but they're animating it now again. And like, there has to have been an executive decision they made of like, the tone for this show, for this arc has to be darker. And it probably has to be with the contents of the arc. The contents of the arc are probably so much darker and shit happens so much faster. We have no downtime and we have no like time for silly gimmicks and new characters we meet that are kind of fun. We're just gonna see a bunch of people just get fucking killed by boss tier characters that just show up. So the tone for a show has to be darker, and it feels darker. The animation is darker. It is. The colors are way more dyed down. The soundtrack feels a lot darker. Everything just seems darker. The lines, everything just feels so much heavier, and I like it. I like it a lot. They definitely did an amazing job animating this arc because of all those choices, right? Because if this was animated like the original anime and it was a lot more colorful and somewhat cheerful, I would be like, yeah, but people are dying. It wouldn't match. It wouldn't fit, right? And I'm almost thinking that like if they animated the original show kind of like this one, maybe not initially, but like it became that, like nearing its end, like nearing the end of Wakamundo and then Aizen, Ichigo versus Aizen, I feel like it would have been better if we had this tone, this direction, and this scoring. I feel like it probably would have been better. So I really like what we're doing here. I'm a big fan of it. I cannot wait for this next episode. Like, that's what happens with every 1,000-Year Blood War episode. I'm sitting here thinking, like, God, I want to watch the next one. I just want to know what happens. I just want to know how this ends. And, you know, because so much shit is just constantly ongoing. So, okay. Alright, that's gonna be it for this reaction episode to Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you next week. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching this reaction episode of Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War. Check out the links in the description below for my Patreon. You can support me and watch early episodes and full episodes, my social media, Twitch stream, all sorts of cool stuff that I do. I'll see you guys next time. Take care everybody. Bye bye.